The time has finally come to put some graphics on the 1999 KX250 Splitfire build. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Greg Hitchcock here. If you've been following along with the 1999 KX250 Splitfire build, I greatly appreciate your patience and me getting these graphics. I've been super patient as well, but the graphics have finally arrived from Dare Decals USA. Now, if you're familiar with my builds in this channel, I call these themed builds. They are not 100% replica builds. I know many people take the replica term very, very seriously. So if you're building a replica bike, to those people, you better have all the exact parts that team used back in the day, the exact logos, the exact graphics, the exact everything, if you want to build a replica bike. That's why I call these themed bikes. So I like to use the companies that have supported me and I trust and work with over the years, as well as a bunch of the new companies that have joined on for this build that I now trust and recommend for you guys. So what I like to do is I take the theme of the graphics kit, so the bike still looks the same in terms of the graphics, but instead of having the old sponsor logos that would come if you built a replica kit, I've got all my sponsor logos on the rear fender. For example, I use my company logos on the airbox, etc., just to show the companies the support and recognition that they deserve for helping me out with these bike builds, because without them, I simply would not be able to get these bike builds done. So the graphics are going to be going on UFO plastics. I've got all the black plastics in the back, and then in the kit, UFO also sent me their new Flow front fender. Now, I was able to score an NOS Flow front fender from back in the day. The Flow from back in the day is just a little bit darker than their new Flow, but ironically, I like the color of the new UFO front fender better. But for the sake of the era specificness that I'm kind of holding to this build, I'm going to go with the NOS UFO front fender on it. I personally am a fan of installing all the plastics on your motorcycle first before installing graphics, because when they're installed on the bike, it acts as like a second set of hands of holding the plastic so you can line them up better. But you guys have waited way too long. Let's finally get the graphics on the bike. So let's start with the front fender, get that front fender on, and then we've got the Splitfire spark plug logo up front, the two Pro Circuit logos on the side of the front fender, and then the second spark plug logo underneath the fender near the pipe. I was honestly going to wait to put this front number plate on, but I literally just can't wait anymore. I need to see a face to this motorcycle, so let's throw it on. Okay, then to top off this build, you guys already know I've already got the nickel-plated hardware from Spec Bolt. I also got some dimpled washers throughout the bike to put on this motorcycle to give it that factory look. Then I've actually got this Pro Circuit cable guide thanks to SMX Technologies. It's not the exact Pro Circuit font because you didn't want to run into copyright infringements, but hey, it's better than nothing and still gonna look pretty sweet on here. Now we just got these diesel zip ties to go around the bottom of the plate here. And that already is starting to look money. Okay, next up are the fork guards. I'm gonna do these off the bike because of the fork guard guides that this bike has. I kept the 1-800-COLLECT logo and the Mazda logo on there. I swapped out the Bridgestone for the Dunlop. Kept the braking on there because I was able to score that era-specific front braking rotor. Next up, we might as well tackle the main look of the bike, the shroud here. So UFO shroud is on. Let's get this on there. I'm just gonna peel up a small slice of it and make sure everything is lined up. You pretty much have one shot with the chrome inlays, Chris was saying. Then we got the tank decal as well. I just took off this bolt here so I could get that tank decal in there. And then actually with the left side panel here, I had to do it off the bike just because the Carbon Berg airbox streamer was making things a little bit more complicated, so I thought it was easier to do it off the bike. And then so we can still see the Berg carbon fiber streamliners, we got the clear airbox decal. I did the best that I could with this airbox decal, but since I'm losing some of the graphic behind the streamliner here, it would have been way too much of a gap if I put the sticker where it was actually supposed to be. So that's just gonna have to be where it sits, and I think you guys can get the hint that this is Wiseco pistons, Hinson clutch, and then obviously it doesn't have any effect on the Maxima and UFO. Fathead Racing does get cut off a little bit, but no worries. And then pretty easy here, we've got the swing arm decal. Quick stop real quick. I just threw that seat cover on, and what I was concerned about is the graphics matching up with the seat cover, how the white on the flames matches into the white on the seat cover. So what I need to do is actually just lift up on this bottom shroud graphic a little bit, kind of align it better with the seat, and then also reposition the tank graphic a little bit to make sure that those white parts on the graphics actually match up a little bit better on the seat. I moved the top part of the shroud graphic up a little bit. I took the tank graphic out, actually snipped it and cut it a little bit and moved it up so it could better align with the flames here. It's not 100% perfect, and then I moved this bottom part of the shroud up a little bit. This is the one that's going to be the toughest one because also it depends on how I mounted the seat cover as well. And then I'm also just waiting on the frame graphic here from Chris at Dare Decals USA as well. So that'll be coming, but once that's there, it'll kind of tie everything together. So let's throw that rear fender back on. Again, this is where I like to show my support for all the companies that help me with my builds. Precision Works, Dare, Guts. I left the DSP logo on there just because I think it's cool. RK Racing Chains, I got the chain on here. VP Fuels, Hinson with the clutch, Engine Ice with the coolant, Boyson, Millennium Technologies, Fathead Racing, Renthal. Dude, there's so much. I left Troy Lee Designs on here because he was the one that actually designed these graphics. Rocky Mountain ATVMC, Maxima, Envy Hubs, and then I thought leaving the Mazda on there would be pretty cool as well. Then we've got Dunlop tires replacing the Bridgestone tires that they ran. Okay, now for the right side of the bike. I learned my lesson from the left side of the bike. I figured it was a little bit smarter of me to actually put the seat on the bike so I could match up the shrouds a little bit better like you see me doing here, which definitely helped out, as well as lining up that tank graphic a little bit. And then the same thing with the rear side panel here, the number plate. I found it easier to actually put the number plate on the bike and then line up the graphic like I normally do. And then with the clear airbox streamliner guard, I had to cut that a little bit too, especially since this is a custom part. I had to cut around the rivets where I didn't have to do that on the other side. Now it's just like the little accent detail pieces here. We got the sticker under the rear fender, the AMA inspection stickers, the Pro Circuit engine sticker, and then I actually grabbed a legitimate set of thermo strips from Pro Circuit just to keep check of the temperature of the critical parts of the bike. All right, we are pretty much there. So a couple things. I talked to Chris at Dare Decals USA. On the actual Pro Circuit graphics, this spark here is red and not yellow, so I'm gonna have him print me new front fender decal. Failed to mention that I need the Pro Circuit stickers for the triple clamps right there. And then after looking at the swing arm decal, this is just brutal, so I talked to him as well. I gave him the dimensions of the swing arm, and we're gonna print up a new swing arm decal to fill the entire swing arm out. So with the amount of attention that went into this build, those are the little details that make a difference. So Chris is gonna help me out with those. But for now, let's get this thing outside and get some pictures and videos of it. All right, there you guys have it. You finally have the reveal of my 1999 KX250 Splitfire build. Now is the bike 100% and ready to go for Whiskey Throttle Media and David Pingree to rip this thing? No, not yet. Like I said, we got a couple things with the graphics. We got the frame graphic. I need to fix the swing arm graphic, but it is Saturday the 13th right now. This thing needs to be shipped out to Southern California. Moto Shippers is helping me out a ton by getting this bike from pretty much the East Coast to the West Coast. They're gonna get this bike out there a few days before Anaheim 2. This bike is gonna be displayed at the Legends and Heroes tent. Hopefully I can convince Mitch Payton and the Pro Circuit team to slip it under their tent for a couple pictures. I think that would be super cool. And then that Tuesday following Anaheim, that's when we're gonna be ripping this thing with Pingree and the Whiskey Throttle Media channel. So if you guys do me a favor, like and subscribe to this channel. When I see you guys like and subscribe, it helps keep me motivated to pump out videos like this and keep doing insane builds like this. I don't know if I'm gonna do an insane build like this for a while, but I do appreciate you guys watching along the way. Since this is just a reveal video, I'd like to gather up the entire cost of the build part by part and break it down for you guys. I could not have done it without the support of the numerous companies that helped me over the past year to help build this bike. So that is going to be a video down the road. Leave a comment below with how much you think this build actually cost me, because I might just do a giveaway at the end of that video. Not for the bike obviously, but for a couple of the parts from the companies that helped me out build this thing. So as always guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Ride hard, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.